Hey everybody, Josh here again. Welcome back to the channel. Hey guys, I know the video's been spaced out a little bit, but we're starting to get some time here to do some more regular content. And today, guys, I got a new toy, okay? And that new toy is... I got myself a motorcycle lift, guys. So, Discount Ramps had the Black Widow 1,500 pound motorcycle lift, hydraulic motorcycle lift on sale. And it was like $9.99 plus the shipping or whatever, so it actually was a pretty good price. And I'm looking forward to getting this set up and not having to lay on the ground anymore when I'm doing maintenance and things like that on the motorcycle, guys. So I'm going to set the camera up and I'm going to get the bikes out of the way and make some space here to get this opened up and set up today. Alright guys, so this thing is packaged really well. They put it in this wood crate. It's got the strapping on it and everything like that. So, grab myself my tin snips. We're going to pop those straps and take this plywood off the top. And I'll give you guys a look at how it's packaged in there. Alright guys, so we got the straps off, took the plywood off, and this thing looks like it's packaged really well in here, guys. All types of bubble wrap. Everything inside the crate here looks really good. So we're going to start to just, I'll see if I can do this with my hand on the camera here, but I'm going to start to peel this bubble wrap back and see what we got in this box here. So let's see. Looks like it's tucked in here a little bit. Alright guys, this might be better off with you on the tripod. Hold on. Alright guys, so this first part here, this is the ramp that goes at the base of the ramp to load the motorcycles up. So I'm just going to set this out of the way now because I don't need it quite yet. This next piece I'm taking out, guys, is this ramp comes built for a this ramp comes built to be for the longer choppers and the longer, so it has an extension on it. So this piece right here, this is that big extension piece that you can bolt to the front of the ramp to make it longer. I personally won't need this because all my bikes are short right now, but I'll hold on to it because if I ever do have to work on a chopper or something longer that doesn't fit on the ramp, then I can install this piece and extend the length of that ramp for use. Okay, well this is nice, guys. They give you it looks like a complete rebuild kit for the cylinder, so if you ever have issues with the cylinder at all, or air leaks or something, it gives you all the gaskets and everything, so you could rebuild it at least once. So that's kind of a nice nice setup there. Looks like there's some Zerk fittings for some grease and stuff like that included extra too, plus the instruction manual. I'm going to assume this is parts and probably part of the wheel chock for the front. As I'm unloading the smaller parts, guys, I'm just lining them up over there on the bench because then I can start to open stuff up and know what I have. So that's all I'm doing right now, guys. Because again, it's just small bits and parts and stuff like that that I'm taking out here. Looks like these are eye bolts for tie-down points and some other bolts that are needed. This is the dropout plate for the rear that allows you to take tires off. And to be honest, guys, I'm not sure. I like this. I know it's part of the front of the wheel chock, and I'm not sure what this big pipe is for, but I'm sure we'll figure that all out when we start to get put together here. So far, guys, looking at the fit and the finish and everything on everything, really looks nice. Looks like everything is powder coated or painted really well. Everything was packaged very well. I mean, all the all the plastic and the bubble wrap and everything is all very nicely done in here. So they definitely package these really well. So the biggest question is going to be is, how do I flip this out of here now? Because I think the rest of this is all one piece. So I'm going to pull out some more of the bubble wrap and see if I can get a good look at it, but I may have to just maybe pick up that end since the wheels are at this end to help you move it around. I may just pick up that end and just stand it straight up and then turn it right over. So, but we'll see here in a minute. So guys, that end up there definitely seems to be the lighter end because that's where the bikes roll up and things like that, and that's where it's got the cutout and things like that, where this end down here definitely is heavier. So I think I'm going to go with my plan A here. So I'm just going to pick this up on this end, and I'm just going to take it and flip it right over. And at that point, I should be able to flip it on top of the plywood at this end, and then work it the rest of the way out. It's not overly heavy, guys, probably 350 pounds or something like that, but obviously having two people, you probably could pick up both ends, lay it, and then just turn it over. But I'm just going to try this flip method. I bet you I could, like I said, I bet you I could stand it up straight and then monkey it right out without too much trouble. So plan B, guys, a block of wood, a piece of PVC pipe or something at that end just to get it up out of the crate. Now I could actually just pick up this end over here. I could slide it that way a little bit, get it off the ramp on its side, and then roll it the rest of the way over. I'll probably throw some cardboard or maybe the piece of plywood that came with it on the ground, just so I'm not dragging it across the concrete and scratching it all up. But so I'm going to lay that plywood there, flip it over, and then I got to make it, then I have to rotate it 180 degrees because that's the end where the bikes ride up on. So if I set it up across the front here, I'm going to want to be able to ride the bikes in this way and roll them right up onto the ramp. So we're going to monkey with this for a minute, and then we'll see what we get. Oh, I know, for all you guys that follow me on Instagram, it's a good thing I've been going to the gym lately. This thing's not that light. It's not overly heavy. Like, moving it around once it's on its wheels and stuff will be pretty easy. But it's a heavy bastard. So 300-400 pounds. So it's a good thing I've been going to the gym lately, because otherwise I don't know if I could have picked that up. I would have definitely needed some help. So if you guys aren't confident in picking this up and you get yourself a lift like this, do yourself a favor. Get a couple buddies, get a friend or whatever, and have them come help you. Alright guys, so we're going to try it there for now. I'll probably move it a little bit more from here. But I'm going to get into the instructions now and see what we have to do to actually get this set up now. I know that there's a, you got to make sure that the wheels, not the red wheels, but the ball bearing wheels that are in the lift part, go up correctly. Got to connect air to it, things like that. So I'm going to just check the instructions real quick, make sure I do it the right way. Alright guys, so temporarily I got my long hose, I got it connected to the pedal. It's just a 1/4 inch MBT fitting that's on their regular air compressor fitting. The pedal is there, and I'm going to try now to raise the table up, because then once it's raised up, obviously I can put the chock on the front and do the other parts of it. So, and that's step 4 in their instructions, is to raise the table. There was a couple zip ties, guys, by those red wheels. They're meant to hold the bearings in place that are for the underneath that ride on the tracks to lift the table up. So I'm going to go over and hit that pedal, and we're going to see what happens. Alright guys, so that works, and except it sounds like I have an air leak in my hose, so I'm going to have to change the end on that hose to make sure that we don't have a situation like that where it just drops right back down to the ground. So, alright guys, so new end on the air hose. Now you can hear it's not leaking anymore. So now take 2 of trying to pick this up, and let's see what it looks like. Alright guys, so one thing I'm not real keen on right now is the way the pedal is designed, is that there is no real, there's no spring or anything in here. So when you push it up, stupid air compressor. Then there's like a halfway point where it stops pitching air out. So there's really like no, there's like no like kind of like spot where you can just leave it like there, like in the middle, where it just will hold air. So very important then is going to be this safety bar, guys, that's on the side here, that you then have to pull down and place in one of the notches, depending on how high you want the table. Because then what you do is, once that bar is down, you can see here I'm going to hit the pedal again, it's going to let a little air out, and it's going to lower that ramp onto that safety bar here as soon as the air goes out, and then it's going to be done. So then now it sits, guys, what's holding it is not the cylinder in here, but this safety bar is what's holding everything up. And that's your working height for your bench, guys, which is about 30 inches or so, which is perfect, right? Because the motorcycle's here, you know, you got room to get under for your oil pan and stuff like that, or you want to sit on a chair. Plus, it's not so high that you can't, like, reach way up to the top of the motorcycle and stuff like that. But we'll go over that once we get a motorcycle on it. Let's get the front chock and stuff installed, the wheel chock, and then let's get the ramp in, get the centerpiece here that's the cutout for the drop the wheel out. And let's get all that set up first, and then we'll put a bike on this and we'll see what it looks like. All right, guys, so pretty simply, this is the piece that closes in here to fill that hole up, and that's the drop out for the tire. So we're just going to unwrap this and drop this in place. If I can find my knife in my pocket with everything else. So we'll just put this open here. And again, guys, overall for the price, I'm pretty impressed, because all this stuff is either, it's got to be powder coated because it's pretty thick, but everything looks like we either powder coated or painted really well. And so far everything's going together pretty well. So we're going to just drop this piece right in here. Alright, so that's the dropout piece. And then I think according to the instructions, guys, we got to do the chock next, so we'll get in the front there and do that. Alright, so guys, this is actually pretty neat here. So every bit of the bolts and stuff that you need to assemble this wheel chock, they put them all in the holes where they belong, guys. So all you got to do is just take the bolts out and then replace them where they belong. So this is actually, that's a nice feature, because otherwise you end up, you know, you usually get a big bag, plastic bag full of nuts and bolts, and you can't tell where they belong or what they were supposed to do, or you maybe try to figure out which bolts are which. It's nice that they did this here, guys, with just real easy, just, hey, here's all the bolts you need, here's where they belong, with lock washers and everything. You just bolt it up. Hey guys, all this hardware is 9/16. Makes it even easier. So you don't really need to pull out too much when you do it. Alright guys, so that's the chock that's installed now. Basic operation, guys, is once you roll the bike up onto the lift, you can see there's a stop at the back there, and then you have the wheel chuck jaws. So then you just crank this handle here, and this opens and closes the jaws. So before you load a motorcycle up, obviously you spin it all the way open, roll your motorcycle up, and then you just crank this handle the other way to pinch on the front tire to hold the bike stable. You also have down here, guys, there's an adjustment here. Actually, let me get that from the side so you guys can see. There's an adjustment here, so this pin comes out, and you have 3 different spots that you can do now. So if I pull this pin out, right, take this out, pull this pin out, I have 3 different positions. I can have it there, I can have it halfway all the way in, depending on the size of the bike you're working on. Like if you have a little Grom or something, a little 12-inch wheel, you probably roll it all the way in. But on the DRZ, I may have to come out to here, to the farthest point out, because it's got a big 21-inch front wheel. So we're going to put it in the middle for now, and then we're going to try to load a bike on here and see what happens once I get a couple other things done. So guys, they also give this other bag of hardware. It looks like it's got extra bolts for the chock and stuff like that. These longer bolts, I haven't figured out what these are for yet, That might be to put the extension on. Actually, these bolts are probably for that extension piece that I'm not going to be using, because that would sit here, and then all these chock pieces would actually go to the front of that piece. And then there's also these two eye bolts here. And these eye bolts are meant to mount somewhere in one of these holes here, so you have a place to tie down the bike, just if you want to put a couple straps on it, just for extra safety. But guys, I noticed that there's these two little holes right here on the side that are right in the metal here. So I think I'm going to try to use those as my points for my hooks for my tie-down straps, because then I don't have to have anything else on the surface here that could be in the way. So we're going to try it like that and try it with these holes, which are more than sturdy enough to hold the tie-down strap, and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, one of the last pieces of the kit that it comes with, it does come with a motorcycle center jack. I started to open this, but I figured I'd wait and show you guys what's in here. So this is basically, guys, for older motorcycles or any motorcycle that's got a frame section under the middle and you want to try to lift up on it. That's what this is for. So this is, let's see what we got here. We got some bits here, and then we got the jack itself here. So set this down. It's actually pretty heavy duty considering. I didn't think it would be this heavy duty. So some trash out of the way. So let me grab a 3/4 wrench here, guys. I think that's what we need. All right, guys. So this jack is 7/8 here, so we're gonna open it up a little bit here, just so we can get a look to see. I heard parts rattling around in there, so my guess is there's probably something else that I need to. Parts I need to install or something. Yeah, there's a lock pin in there, which is just for safety. So let's see if we can flip this over and get that pin to fall out of there. It's like impossible to get your hand in there to get this pin, guys. Alright, so that's just a safety pin. Alright, so this jack would go like this, guys, and like we might be able to use this like when we're taking the engine out of the CX or something like that, but basically this would sit underneath like that, and you know, like any other scissor jack, guys, it just goes up and down. You know what I mean? Just crank it and it goes up, goes down. But there's also, guys, they gave you some jaws here and stuff that, see these rubber pads and stuff like that? They like go up under frame sections and things. And that's what this is for here, guys. So this would actually, and that pin, this would actually slide onto the jack like this and then get put in a certain position. And then we have another one for the other side here, the same way. All right, so this would slide on this way. And then these different jaws would sit in here like this. And then you could put that up underneath the frame of the motorcycle or whatever where you need it, and then just crank this. All right, guys, just before I tested the ramp out, I had one more piece to do. That long pipe I took out before was actually the stabilizer bar here. So there's two end caps on it, and then that's what those two longer bolts were for. That were the thing, was to keep it from sliding out, basically. But basically, that's just going to give you a little bit more stabilization. If the ramp tries to rock either way, you know, I mean, it'll have something that it can lean on to keep it from falling over. So, and it's really not in the way as I look at it on the ground, guys. You know, I mean, it's really not too intrusive or anything like that. Plus, if it really was intrusive or I needed to move it real quick, you just pop one bolt out, slide it out. It takes 2 seconds, and you can go that route with it. So, I'm gonna lower this thing back down, and then we're gonna try to put a motorcycle on it. All right, guys, let's grab. Well, might as well go for broke, right? Let's grab the MT-09 and try to put it up on this ramp and see what happens. Well, that wasn't the smartest thing in the world. I should have tried it with the Honda or something first. I didn't care about dropping, but lesson learned, guys. What I did wrong was I didn't put the kickstand up right away, and when I was pushing it up the ramp, I wasn't paying attention. Kickstand caught the ramp a little bit, caused the MT-09 to flip over that way. Luckily, obviously this side's not bad, but over here it looks like I scratched the screen a little bit. I definitely scratched the looks like I scratched the display a little bit here. I'll see if that rubs out or not. And I got a mark in the tank over here. It is a slight dent too, but not that bad. It's just really more rubbed, so hopefully I can maybe buff that out. But otherwise, doesn't look like there's too much other damage. Frame sliders definitely helped. A little scratch on the exhaust down here, but oh well. Yeah, live and learn, right? Sometimes you make mistakes and do things the wrong way, and go from there. So let's right now I have the bike in the chock. I do agree with what some other people said. I wish there was some rubber or something here that would just keep the wheel protected or away from the chock itself. So I may get some rubber pads or something, put it up in there. But just in the chock, guys, it does feel pretty secure. I mean, it still moves a little bit, so you definitely need to strap it down so like you can go from, you know, maybe from these points right here, like I said, down to those holes I was just talking about before. Just put a strap on both sides. And in the case of the MT-09, I'm actually going to drop the I'm going to put the rear stand under it too, because that way when it's up on the lift, I can actually do some other work on it, like I can adjust the chain and check tires and things like that. So I'm going to actually do that and get it up on the lift also. But if I wasn't working on the chain, like you can see here, guys, my chain's pretty rusty right now. If I wasn't working on the chain or something like that, I probably would just do it like this, strap it down, and do all the work I need to do. But let's get the wheel chock under the back. We'll take the ramp out, and then we're going to lift it up off the ground. You know, and guys, once it's on the, when I do have it on the center stand in the back, the bike is pretty stable anyways, because normally, guys, if I was going to work on it, I'd have it on the center stand like that anyways. So let's put some air to this, and let's lift it up and see what happens. Alright guys, that went up and down pretty easy. I'm pretty impressed with that. It's definitely a lot easier just hitting that pedal on that side like that and just have it come up and down. It's also smart, guys, if you, here, I'm going to take you over there actually. I have the pedal sitting right next to where the safety bar is, so that when after I get it up, I can drop that safety bar right down. Some guys have mounted the pedal different places, like on the front and stuff, so they don't have to step on it, but I think I'm going to do that, because then once the bike is up on the lift, I can just disconnect my air hose, get it out of the way, and then I can work on the bike from here. So, but yeah, a little bit a little bit of schmutz there. You see if that's a rub in the clear or if that's in the clear coat. Doesn't look like much else happened though. Luckily, like I said, except for back here, I got the, but if I hit that with some 2000 sandpaper, it might not show as bad. But everything else looks okay. It doesn't look like I bent anything or broke anything. There's no damage to the carbon there. Oh, a little bit damage here though, this carbon fiber here. So that sucks that I broke that a little bit, but that's all right. We're just gonna leave it that way. Nothing I can really do about it now. I'm not gonna replace the carbon fiber. I mean, worst case scenario, I'll put the black ones back on if it really bothers me. But unfortunately, guys, hey, mistakes are made. You know me, I show you everything I screw up on too, because I want you guys to be able to see what happens here. But overall, guys, just things like chain maintenance and stuff like that. I mean, having it right here at the height right in front of me like this is going to be really easy to take care of. Be able to do some detail work too, to get in and clean some of this stuff up. And yeah, go from there. I mean, like, you know, get rid of the dirt and everything. But yeah, guys, overall, Black Widow 1,500 pound motorcycle lift. Looks like it works really well, as long as you're not a dummy like me and make mistakes like leaving kickstands down. And you know, like I said, right now the MT-09 is up there. I'm going to clean the chain and do a few things, but I think it's a great tool to have, and I'm going to get a lot of use out of it. So that's it for today's video, guys. It's, again, just initial impressions and setup of my new motorcycle lift. And you know, going to make my life a lot easier getting a lot of this work done. So until the next one, guys, don't drop your bike and stay safe.